Hey, wonderful people, it's Ara Pampa yet again, and today I wanted to talk to you about soundtracks. Yes, it's a book that I listened to by a guy called Jon Acuff, and the subtitle of the book is The Surprising Solution to Overthinking. But first, before I get into that, I want to say if this is your first time watching me on YouTube, thank you very much for tuning in. I really appreciate you. You're very welcome here. I tend to share videos about inspiring topics, inspiring things that I found, teaching a few courses, telling people about a few tips, hints, and tips that I've gained over the years, as well as talking about voiceover, which is my main business. And for those of you who are here again, like for the second, third, fifth, 50th time, I appreciate you. Thank you for joining and hope you enjoyed this video as well. All right, so let's get into it. So the book I was talking about is Soundtracks, and the subtitle is The Surprising Solution to Overthinking by Jon Acuff. And basically, the premise of the book, or the idea of soundtracks, basically soundtracks are the thoughts in our heads that keep playing over and over again. But these thoughts have the possibility or have the ability to be able to shape how we then see life, how we go about life. For example, if we have soundtracks that say, I'm not capable, I can't do this. When things come up, when opportunities come up, you're less likely to take them because you feel you're not capable, you're not able to do this. But you can replace those soundtracks. The soundtracks that are negative, Jon Acuff refers to them as broken soundtracks because you keep hearing them over and over again and they seem to get louder, and whenever you're faced with certain situations, they just keep playing and playing and almost telling you all the time, you're not going to be able to do this, you're not going to be able to do this, you can't do this, you can't do this, no one in your family's ever done this, why do you think you can do this? But actually, instead of taking that and listening to it, what you can do is recognize what the soundtracks are. That's a very important thing, being able to recognize them. And then once you have recognized them, the next stage is for you to then replace them with positive soundtracks. Soundtracks that actually move you forward. When we're faced with a myriad of situations, oftentimes our brain goes into overdrive, overthinking this. Oh, I'm not sure I can do this. I'm not qualified enough. I don't know this. I don't know that. I'm not strong enough. I'm not wise enough. I'm not experienced enough. You have all these thoughts at the back of our minds. It might be things like, oh, I'm not a good parent, or I'm not a good sibling, or I'm not a good worker. I'm not a good this and that. Instead of taking those and imbibing that, you want to stop for a second, okay? Just stop and think. Three things. The first question we need to ask ourselves, is this thought true? The second, is it kind? And the third, is it helpful? The thing with soundtracks, particularly the broken ones, is that there's always some element of truth, right? It may not be completely true, but that element of truth is what keeps us stuck in that overthinking mode, where we're constantly asking ourselves or constantly doubting ourselves. Whereas instead, what we can do is then say, okay, even if it seems partially true, is it kind? Is it the sort of thing I would tell a friend if a friend came to me with an issue? Would I then repeat back to them the negative soundtrack, the track that says I can't do it or you can't do it, the track that says I'm underqualified, great things don't happen to people like me, or I'm never gonna be able to surmount this? Is that kind? Is that something you would say to a friend? If you wouldn't say it to a friend, why would you say it to yourself? Why would you accept saying those words to yourself? Ask yourself that question. Then the final thing, let's say you go past the first question of whether it's true, the next question whether it's kind. The next thing you need to ask yourself is this thought helpful? As the thoughts pass through our minds, you've got to ask yourself that. Is this thought helpful? If it's not, then maybe it's time to discard it. And instead, look for thoughts that can help shape you and help make you better. So you take those negative soundtracks, those broken soundtracks, and replace them with things that are more useful, more helpful to you. For example, instead of saying, oh, I don't know how to do this, I'm not a fill in the blank, or maybe I'm not a teacher, or I'm not a professional, I'm not this and that, you can say, you know what, I am willing to learn. I'm a learner. Whatever I put my mind to, I can learn. One of the soundtracks, positive soundtracks he mentioned in the book was Momentum is Messy. Now, for me, that was just very encouraging to hear. For me, being on this YouTube journey, the momentum has been messy. Actually getting in and doing it has required me getting over myself and feeling like maybe I'm not as comfortable in front of the camera, or feeling like maybe I don't know everything there is to know about making a great YouTube video. What if it flops? What if people see it and I don't know, I don't get positive comments from it, or I get negative comments, I get negative feedback. All these things kind of keep playing in my ear. But then I've replaced them with positive soundtracks, which say, you know what, momentum is messy. Okay, it's gonna be messy the first few times. There's a YouTuber I watch, his name is Ali Abdal. He mentioned that, you know what, your first 50 videos are probably going to be rubbish. And that's okay, because you need to go through that so you can learn and tweak so that you can start making better videos later. So you might as well get the 50 videos out of the way quickly so that you can get to the good stuff. Another soundtrack that the author got from, I think it was actually Kanye West, was My Life is Dope. So when things happen, instead of thinking, oh, things don't quite always work out for me, just tell yourself, you know what, my life is dope. My life is dope. Yeah, my life is just dope. My life is just great. Great things are going to be happening for me. Another thing he did mention as well was, yeah, just great things just happen to me. You know, the more you constantly repeat those things to yourself, the more they actually feel real, and the more you become that kind of person that has those positive thoughts and has those positive things happen to them. And moving on from that, he also talked about affirmations, the power of affirmations. Now, he was a skeptic, okay? Like, he just felt all this positivity thinking and just saying, oh, positive, if you believe it, you can achieve it, kind of thinking was not his style. He's more the either pessimistic or the more skeptical kind of person. But then he found that actually taking the time to just, even if you don't believe them, take the affirmations he does put in the book and just say them to yourself every day. And you'll find that you start to become the kind of person for those positive affirmations. Things like, I can learn. It's a very simple soundtrack, but then it then means that whenever you're faced with a situation that you feel is difficult, you just got to tell yourself, whatever I don't know, I can learn. You know, and if it's a goal you have, maybe like me, you're doing a PhD and you want to see yourself all the way through, you're going to tell yourself, you know what, I will finish this PhD. I am Dr. fill in the blank with your name. You know, just keep repeating it to yourself. And before you know it, it sounds real. Like I said, my favorite, I keep mentioning it, momentum is messy. You just got to start. You just got to keep going. And one last thing that I wanted to leave you with, or maybe it's second to the last thing actually, is the idea of mementos, physical objects that help you keep track and remember your positive soundtracks. So for him, he had the idea of having a coin, so $1 coin, and every time he did a trip, he was trying to get over or get rid of the habit of texting whilst driving, you know. And so what he did was he got many dollar coins and then said for every time he drove and didn't use his phone, he put a coin in the jar. And it was very motivating just seeing the coins in the jar constantly go up, you know, and in the end he was able to kick the habit. So that's something that you could try out as well. For other people, it might be a rock, for example. Let's say you went mountain climbing and it was a difficult thing, but you got to the summit and you pick up a rock from that area, and every time you look at that rock, it kind of reminds you that, you know what, the journey may be rough, but you will get there in the end. And just having that somewhere visible is very important. And a memento might be something very simple as a sticky note, you know, but the important thing is making sure that it is in a place that's visible and you can see it and you can be reminded of it. There's no point having a memento, a physical object that's hidden in a drawer somewhere that you're never going to see. No, you need it to be somewhere prominent and somewhere that can remind you of what you're working towards. And finally, the idea of soundtracks is a soundtrack is often repeated, you know. So you just got to keep repeating it to yourself, repeating the positive things. Like for every negative thing or negative thought you have, you want to try and counteract it with 3 positive. It's not hard to find negative soundtracks coming your way. The positive ones require work, require you to actually make an effort to make sure that you have the positive ones playing in your mind. So just take on different positive soundtracks, prepare them in advance, and then say them to yourself every day before you start your day and just before you go to bed. Because what it does is that it energizes you for the day. It reminds you that, you know what, I am this kind of person. I am positive. I can learn anything I need to learn. Momentum is messy. My life is dope. Things always work in my favor. Having those things and saying them or calling yourself the things that you aim for you to be is very powerful. And eventually you do end up becoming that person that you seek to be. I hope this video helped you. Put a comment in the comment section. Let me know what your favorite soundtrack is. Let me know if soundtracks have helped you. Let me know if you've read the book or if you plan on reading it after listening to this review. And if you've gotten this far, I really appreciate it. How about you leave me a smiley emoji in the comment section so I know that, okay, you made it this far in the video. Anyway, I appreciate you taking the time to watch this. I hope it was beneficial to you. And yeah, I'll catch you in the next one. Take care. And you know what? Check out my other videos. I think they'll be very interesting to you too. So try them out. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.